Hello, my name is Katie Steckly, and I have cried roughly a dozen times over the past 3 or 4 days. Hi, my name is Katie Steckly, and I am desperate to see my YouTube channel continue to grow because I'm so scared of losing everything that I have worked so hard for. Hi, my name is Katie Steckly, and I constantly compare myself to other YouTubers and feel incredibly inadequate about the number of views I get, the subscribers I have, and how much money I'm making. As you might be able to tell from my past recent videos, at least I hope so, that I'm kind of on a journey of trying to figure out how I want to show up. Oh, that sounds so freaking cheesy. I hate that. I'm not about to talk about how I show up online, especially when there is a loud freaking truck going past. No, what I am trying to discover is how I want to present myself on the internet, what I want my YouTube channel to be about, and I'm struggling with that. This was supposed to be a lighthearted Q&A video, but I turned on the camera, so of course I'm gonna treat you like my therapist, the therapist that I should have, but I don't because I'm too scared of digging into my own deep emotional issues. I am gonna get to the questions, but in seriousness, I did just want to say that I am still figuring out what my YouTube channel is gonna look like, and I hope that you all liked my recent video about Instagram scams. I really liked producing it. It was like the first video in a long time where I really felt excited about what I was making, and like the research and writing process was really satisfying, and then it just came together in editing in a way that feels more like something I can be proud of than the stuff that I've been making for months previous. But yeah, even though I just made that video and it is performing pretty well, like literally still in my head I'm like, you're not getting enough views, your YouTube channel is freaking dying, your videos aren't even good, what kind of stuff should you talk about? So that's the constant soundtrack of my mind. If you've been following me for very long, then you might know that I do have an interest in being creative and filmmaking. It sounds so pretentious to even say filmmaking, but whatever, you know what I mean. Like, I want to make stuff that is a little bit more in-depth than just sitting down and sharing tips about Instagram. And any reasonable person who's been watching my channel closely would probably say, okay, Katie, stop making videos about how you don't want to make videos about Instagram and just make the videos you want to make. And I'm trying to do that. And I think that the scam video was an example of that, but I don't know, man. It's so hard to know how much to like stick to what you know and how much to just say, screw it, I'm doing something totally different. At this point I am not doing the latter because I have a business that is still doing pretty well and I want to see it continue to grow. But I can't even say pretty well because like literally I watch these income report videos from people and I feel like shit. Generally in my life lately, I've just been feeling this need for like liberation from other people's expectations or opinions of me. And I realize how much I'm like living my life to avoid judgment or disapproval, and I don't want to do that anymore. Man, this is really not what this video was supposed to be about. I think I might have this shirt on upside down. It is what it is. All of this is to say, I want to be able to be more open and authentic. I don't want to be so contrived online. I don't want to be so overly professional. Sometimes I think it makes sense because I am trying to share tutorials with actual information that is going to be helpful to people, and I know that it's so annoying to watch a tutorial with a lot of extra info, like just as annoying as it is to look up a recipe and then have to read some white woman in her 30s entire life story before you get to the garlic bread recipe. So that's why in my tutorials I do want to keep being very professional, but I want to be able to make more reflective, personal, and honest videos, and I feel like that just generally goes along with my vibe right now of trying to not care what people think. With that being said, I hope that you're along for the ride for that. I feel like what I'm doing right now isn't jiving with me and it's not jiving with the algorithm. So I'm like, okay, so what is gonna like vibe with me and vibe with the algorithm? It's gotta be something totally different. And what I admire so much in other creators that I watch is their complete honesty and authenticity. I know it's so overdone now. Like, that is the most cheesy buzzword thing ever. Authentic. Like, what does that even mean? But it's people who just don't give a shit. I think that's kind of what I mean when I say that. And so I want to be one of those people. Let's answer some of the questions that you sent in. So I got a few questions along the lines of, how did you start a social media agency? I would love to know how you got your first clients for your agency. How did you find your first clients? How did you get your first clients? Awesome questions. I totally feel that. So for those of you who might not be familiar with my story, my business journey started out when I was in my second year of university, and I started doing some freelance videography work. So I've had a YouTube, it's so loud outside. I started doing freelance videography gigs in my second year of university. I've had a YouTube channel since I was 12, and the people around me just kind of knew me as like that girl that makes videos. And so the summer camp that I went to when I was in high school reached out to me and was like, hey, we know that you make these YouTube videos. Would you be able to come and make a promotional video for camp? Oh my gosh. Would you be able to come and make a promotional video for camp? And I was like, yeah, people like pay for videos. Like that's freaking cool. So really like my passion has been making videos. I also have loved social media and putting videos on the internet, but the Instagram stuff came much later. At this time, I had no idea what I was doing on Instagram. Anyway, so my first client was through like a personal connection. Like it was my old camp. And then from there, it kind of branched out into connections that I made through school, through friends and family, etc. And then as I did those projects, it turned into more referrals. Like people would see that work that I did and then reach out to me because they were like, oh, Katie did a good job on this video for this camp. Maybe she'll come and do this video. Maybe she'll come and make a video for us. So that was a big part of it. So starting out with friends, family, personal connections, branching out into referrals from their connections. And then after I graduated and I wanted to turn this into a full-time income for myself, that's when I started doing more cold calling and reaching out to companies and people that I wanted to work with and offering them something. So one of my first big clients that ended up turning into a, you know what, it's gonna be loud in this video, so I'm just gonna have to. One of my first big clients that turned into like a roughly $1,000 a month social media package started out by me cold emailing a local realtor and saying, hey, I'll make real estate videos for you for $200 a video. And then it turned out that she actually wanted to start a YouTube channel, a podcast, and have an Instagram presence. So it just totally changed the trajectory of my business because that's when I really started specializing in social media content creation. And then basically referrals and people finding me through my online platform have really grown since then. So now most of my clients have found me through Instagram or YouTube. And in terms of the agency thing, honestly, I still have so much imposter syndrome around calling it an agency because it's me and 2 other people that I've hired to help me. I guess that fits underneath the definition of what that would be, but basically, I've just tried to start calling it that because I don't want people to get the impression that I'm the only person doing the work for my clients, because clients often come to me because of my YouTube channel or my Instagram, and so then they kind of expect that I'll be the person doing everything for them, but I definitely don't have the time to do that for all of my clients, and so that's why I have help. So that's why I'm calling it an agency. I guess it is. I don't know. When and how did things really begin to kick off for you, if that's not too vague? It's not too vague. I totally know what you mean. Things were growing very slowly. Basically from the time that I started my business until like February of 2019. I'd had my YouTube channel for 10 years at that point, and I had like 2,000 subscribers. I think I had like 800 followers on Instagram, mostly friends from school and that kind of thing. And then, no, I think I had 1,000 followers, but whatever. And then I posted this video called Instagram Story Hacks for Creators 2019, and it absolutely blew up. It has over 1 million views now, and the majority of my subscribers have ultimately found me through that video and then the subsequent videos that I made along the same topic. And at the end of the day, that random strike of lightning in the YouTube algorithm is completely when things started to kick off for me, and it's kind of weird feeling like you owe your entire business to that one moment of luck. How to make Instagram feel less narcissistic? Honestly, my friend, I wish I knew, because sometimes I have existential crises over posting about myself so often. But I try to create content that is going to be valuable to people. I know that's sort of a cliche in itself by now, but I try to make stuff that might help people, whether it's feel less alone or feel inspired or motivated. That kind of gives you a purpose outside of yourself, so you don't feel just like a friggin', I don't know what, person who only ever thinks of themselves, I guess. So that's my advice. Think about who you're trying to serve. Okay, I'm gonna try to do a few more business ones, more rapid fire style, because I know I'm dragging this out. Like, what do you do about spam followers on Instagram? Do you remove them, leave them? Honestly, I just leave them. I do not have the time to look through my followers and see which ones seem authentic and which don't. honestly, I wouldn't recommend you spend your time doing that. If you have spent time doing that, shift that time to spending it on actually engaging with your authentic audience. So don't worry about it, just leave it. How are you able to manage multiple clients at the same time? I have help, which is awesome. So my lovely teammates, team members, whatever the corporate talk is, I don't know. The folks who help me out, Taylor and Jordan, awesome people that make it so that I can help more than one client at once. I mean, I used to do it on my own as well, but it meant that I had much less time to spend on my own content. Where would you say you earn the most money in your business? Definitely through client work, though for a few months there, it was kind of like an even split between client work and YouTube AdSense, because for a while it seemed like my channel was actually growing and now it's completely plateauing. But yeah, for a few months there when my TikTok videos were really blowing up, I was making bank on YouTube AdSense, which in my mind, that's like, I made like $3,000 the one month, and then like $2,500 2 other months. So then I felt like really good about that. And then that was like roughly matching the client work that I was doing. But yeah, it's definitely mostly client work, and then AdSense and brand deals kind of like augment that. Just to give you a sense of where I'm at with my business, because I'll tell you anything, I don't care. I did have 1 month where I made over $10,000 Canadian, which was very exciting for me. But mostly I'm anywhere in the range of like, I don't know, $4,000 to like $8,000 in revenue a month. And that is a loud truck. But it fluctuates so damn much, I could not ever predict where it's going, so. When you started noticing Instagram growth, how quick was it? Honestly, it's all been very slow and steady for the most part. My biggest Instagram growth has honestly come from the fact that my YouTube channel has grown, and so people have found me on YouTube and then went and followed me on Instagram. So it's kind of been over the past like year. I guess in 2 years I've gone from like 1,000 to 10,000, and now I have like 13,000 followers, which is really exciting. I definitely have not felt like it's blown up in any way. It's been slow and steady. How do I decide where to focus my time and energy, Instagram or a blog? Which one leads to real opportunities? So honestly, my philosophy with growing a brand on social media is to have your eggs in at least 2 baskets. Like ideally start out with 2 different platforms. Do one that's like a timely sort of feed-based platform like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, and then do something that's more evergreen or discoverable like YouTube, podcasting, blogging, and TikTok. So I think it's a great idea to do Instagram and blogging. I think that it's good to have 2 different platforms that you're working on simultaneously. In terms of how to split your energy, like, I don't know, maybe 50-50. It's hard to know. It depends on your goals and what you're trying to do on your blog and what you're trying to do on your Instagram. But thankfully they can kind of feed each other. So the content ideas that you come up with for your blog, you can repurpose them in different ways on your Instagram. But I think it's a really good idea to do both. Once you hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, did you notice it was easier to get more followers? I would say honestly that it does continue to grow, and I'm not putting a ton of like effort into growth. It sounds so bad to say that because I'm always like giving advice about this kind of thing. But honestly, only now after like a few months of kind of ignoring it, I'm trying to get back into regularly engaging on Instagram with the goal of growth in mind. I mean, all along I reply to comments, I reply to DMs very faithfully, but I haven't done a lot of like outreach engagement, and it still keeps growing. But honestly, it's so hard to know how much of that is because of Instagram organic growth, or is it because people find me through YouTube? Like honestly, I think a lot of it is people finding me on YouTube or through my podcast and then following me because of that, which, if I'm totally honest, gives me a lot of imposter syndrome, because I feel like, how am I giving everybody advice about Instagram growth when most of my Instagram growth has come from YouTube? How do you manage your time as an entrepreneur so that you advance your projects equally? Again, I wish I knew, because I'm always trying to balance client work and my own work, because I really want to give it my all for my clients and do good work for them and obviously see them succeed. That's so important to me. And like enabling my team, my folks to help me do that is important. But honestly, like my number one priority is growing my own platform, because I know that that can help me reach and help more people. And like, it's just selfishly, it's my dream to be a full-time YouTuber and have an audience. So like literally someday, hopefully I will get the 100K plaque and I will cry on camera, most likely probably many times if I ever reach that, because I've always wanted it. But honestly, once I reach it, I will probably cry some more because my view to subscriber ratio will never be what I think it should be. That feels like a tangent. What was the question? Oh, how do I manage my time? Yeah, I don't really know. I just try to make lists of what I need to get done and then make sure those things are getting done, and I worry less about how many hours exactly I'm spending on each thing. But I would like to get that figured out eventually. How long did it take you to start earning money through your media platforms? A long ass time. I started my YouTube channel when I was 12, many moons ago, and I've only really started making a reasonable income from being a YouTuber in the past year. I'm now 24 for context. But I started monetizing my skills in the realm of social media and content creation long before that, when I started my freelance videography business. Basically, I was able to use my skill as a YouTuber of being able to make videos and market them and stuff like that, and I just started doing it for other people who would pay me to do it for them. So that's when I started making money off my YouTube channel in some ways, but if we're talking AdSense and brand deals, it's only been the past year or two that anything's really happened there. So how do you stay organized and have balance between work, home, and van adventures? I love the shout out to the van, because if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I want to become a van life person, and I actually have a vlog channel where me and my partner Dan go on adventures on the weekends, and eventually hopefully it will be our van life channel. It's called Katie and Dan in a Van, but at this point the van part is aspirational. How do I stay organized between all that stuff? I have a Google Calendar that I'm very diligent about updating, and I have a notebook with my to-do list items, and if it doesn't get written down, then I don't do it. So this is another really good question, especially as a follow-up to my most recent video. How are legit brand partnerships formed? Skeptical of the DMs I get. I think it's very good to be skeptical of the DMs you get, because most legitimate brands are not going to DM you on Instagram to ask you to work together. And I don't want to be pessimistic either, because obviously there's such thing as micro influencers, and you can definitely find brand deals depending on how niche your audience is and stuff. But if you have less than, I'm gonna say 10,000 followers, I would be very skeptical of any brand deal propositions that you get, unfortunately. Unless you're in a super specific niche, in which case you might be the only influencer in that niche, even if you have less than 10K. So to be totally honest, I have not really done a proper paid Instagram ad yet. I've done a couple campaigns where it's either on a commission basis. I did a thing with Teachable where I got paid per the number of leads that I generated, but it wasn't a flat rate. And then sometimes I do Instagram integrations with YouTube brand deals. So even for me at 13K followers, I've never had a brand come to me and say, I want to pay for a post on your Instagram feed. But in terms of on YouTube, how they are formed, I usually get an email from someone and they'll be saying, hi, Katie. They'll actually know my name. They'll be like, hi, Katie, we really love your videos. We think that they would fit well with our brand XYZ, which provides XYZ product or service. We would love to do a brand integration on your YouTube channel. Please let us know if you would be interested. So it's an email like that, and in terms of knowing that it's legit, they actually know your name. Maybe they even name something about your channel that they like specifically, they like certain videos or whatever style you have. And then they say, we would like to do a dedicated video or a brand integration with you. Let us know what you think. And then honestly, I get a lot of emails like this that are somewhat legit, and I'll respond with my media kit, and then I'll get an email back being like, actually our total budget for a dedicated 12-minute review of our random software is $50 US. Does that work for you? And it's no, it does not. But that's generally what it's like when people do want to actually reach out and pay you to make videos. Couple questions from my girl Cynthia. I'll try to do them rapid fire style. Are you still using Pinterest? Yes, I am. If you check out my Pinterest profile, it's pretty active. I try to be posting at least one pin a day, and it's all promoting my YouTube videos, my podcast, and my Instagram posts. Number 2, would you want to make a 101 podcast course? Honestly, this is perfect timing, because I am pretty much creating the ultimate podcast guide for beginners, but I'm releasing it totally for free on my YouTube channel. It's coming out next week, Monday through Friday. If you have made it this far in the video, I'm sure you're subscribed, but if not, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be releasing, it's like 4 15 to 20 minute videos, complete in-depth tutorial on getting your podcast up and running. Number 3, how are your new YouTube videos making you feel so far? Thank you, Cynthia, for that question. I appreciate that. I felt really good about the scam video. I felt like, yeah, I'm making something that's like pretty cool. I like the editing. I like the research. I feel like I did something there. You know what I mean? I feel like I discovered something I didn't know before, and I think that a lot of people didn't know before. So I feel proud about that. But I think what I'm realizing is like the stuff I want to make is just so time consuming, and then it's really scary because you put a lot of time and effort into something and you don't know for sure that you're gonna see a return on the time you put in. I guess welcome to YouTube. But for a while there, I felt like I really had stuff nailed down in terms of like I knew exactly what would get me more views, and it was videos like growth hacks for new Instagrammers, and like that was working really well for me for a while. And now it's working less well. So thank you for watching this long ass video. And I hope that you liked it. I appreciate you sitting through it. If you did, hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM. I want to know who you are if you've watched to the very end, because you're a real MVP. And yeah, I just wanted to make this video because originally I was going to do something more in depth today, but I didn't have the time because I was making my 4-part podcast series. It's going to go live next week. So, and yes, I just feel like being more real, whatever that is. The best thing you can do to support my channel is keep on watching. So if you want to click on this video and just literally binge as many videos as you can right now, a car just honked outside, that would be appreciated because it just really helps me out in the algorithm. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already, but I'm sure you have. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in this video. Okay, bye.